Yo, how is it going, Bears fans? I'm your host, Chris, and welcome back to the Bear Down podcast. Today, I am joined by both my co-hosts, Parth and Jaylen. How you guys doing?
Great. I'm good.
So, this is our weekly roundup for the week. Really nothing to talk about except for the NFL draft, so we're going to call it a weekly roundup / draft recap. We're going to go through today and talk about every single pick that Ryan Pace made throughout the draft. We are going to grade each of those picks individually, and then we are going to talk about our favorite pick and our worst pick outside of Roquan Smith. He's off limits because everyone loves him. But, let's actually start with that before we get into grading each pick. Let's talk about our favorite and least favorite pick. So if one of you guys wants to take over the mic and talk about, let's go favorite pick first. Let's start it off on a high note.
I'm going to go with wide receiver Anthony Miller.
Okay.
He reminds me of, Odell, Antonio Brown, under the radar. He could become a stud for us in the next couple of years. Could be awesome out of the slot. Something called Zebra that we use now under Nagy. That'd be awesome to see him play, really well under that. And he just seems like a really cool guy. Like, he told Mitch, it's our time to shine or something like that. I don't know exactly what he said.
Dude, it's pretty funny. I followed him on Twitter, and everyone in Chicago was freaking out because during the Cavs Pacers game yesterday, he tweeted "LeBron's so soft," and everyone was like, "Oh, dude, we like this guy."
He's born to live in Chicago just for saying that.
Yeah. Jaylen, who's your favorite pick outside of Smith?
I'm gonna agree with Miller, but I'm gonna go outside that, and I'm gonna go with Javon Williams, the receiver we drafted in the 7th round. Now at Georgia, he did lead their team in receptions and yards. He's a project player, but I feel like just because of his athletic build and his catch radius, that if we can develop him, he could be a solid number 2.
Now, I was actually going to talk about Javon Williams because I feel like he's kind of like an Alshon Jeffrey, where that guy, he's got an incredible catch radius. He's really a ball hawk. He can catch anything. You put it anywhere, and he could probably catch it. But I'll jump somewhere else. I'm going to go James Daniels, the second-round pick, center / guard out of Iowa. He opens up gaps in the secondary. He's a great run blocker. He can play both guard and center. So if Whitehair's not doing good at center this year, they can flip him. I think the goal right now is to keep Whitehair at center and put Daniels at left guard. Is Kyle Long right guard? Yeah, Kyle Long's right guard. So now I'm happy we got him, not only because we have we have our interior linemen for the next 10 years if they stay healthy, but he's also awesome. His initial contact is strong. He takes smart angles, and he can beat linebackers to certain spots where someone like a Roquan Smith, can get to. He can beat those linebackers there. That's basically it, though. Least favorite pick, anyone? Actually, can I start this one? Do you guys care if I start this one?
Go ahead.
Okay, third-round pick, Joel. His last name's Iggy. I'm not even going to try to freaking pronounce that, dude. I see the potential in this guy. The only reason I don't like it is because I feel like there was some good second. I feel like the way the draft went this year is there was some good first round talent slipped to the second round talent slipped to the third round, and so on and so forth, dude. There were even some good 6th and 7th round picks that were undrafted free agents. But I don't essentially not like this guy. I just could have seen us picking someone else different than him. Yeah.
I'm going to go with defensive tackle Bilal Nichols. I just don't think that was a need. I didn't think we needed a defensive tackle. I think we should address the secondary a bit more in the 5th round.
Okay.
That would have been nicer.
What do you got, Jalen?
I'm gonna go with the EA Bouye pick too.
Yeah.
It's not that I hate that we picked him. I hate where Pace is planning on putting him. He's planning on putting him at middle linebacker.
Yeah.
I feel like just because of his speed, we should put him at outside linebacker.
I was looking at our depth chart today, and our linebackers are actually going to be so sweet, dude. We got Trevathan. I think the starters as of now are going to be Trevathan, Floyd, and Roquan, with backup inside linebackers going to be Kwiatkowski, who will be sick as a backup. I think that guy earned the starting job before we picked Roquan, but he's going to be sweet as a backup. So now, I guess we'll just go through and talk about each pick and grade it. So I'm going to start off with Roquan Smith. Just a few notes I took on him. Sorry, I'm looking down at my phone. He's a very highly instinctive guy. He's always on his feet. It's hard to really catch him sleeping in any type of coverage, in any type of run game. He's a sideline to sideline guy. He can chase down the best of running backs. He can deal with most anything you toss at him. He's good with run coverage, pass coverage. He can play both zone and man, and he's a great pass rusher. He's a reliable tackler, and he's also a leader. He gets along with his teammates well. That's something that he said during his press conference. He's like, I'm going to get along with these guys. I'm going to give that pick an A. I do wish a little bit that Quentin Nelson could have been there. I had a feeling that the Colts were going to take him. But, I like the pick. What do you guys think?
Well, I also wanted Quentin Nelson, but I'm fine with Roquan because he's a leader. We need a leader on defense. I feel like we need someone like Urlacher or like the old linebacker.
He did win the Dick Butkus Award.
Yes, he did. So he's supposed to be here, I guess. And he has those instincts. Like as soon as that running back's going to the left side, he's there right away. Like he knows how to be there, and he can cover the pass. Like I've seen a couple highlights of him. It was against the Penn State game or whatever. Like he had this like super nice tip.
He's good. He's good on receivers too. Not only on tight ends, he can guard receivers too. I think he run like a 4.56 40. He's a pretty speedy guy.
Yeah.
Not the quickest, but he's fast. He's up there. What would you give that grade? As a grade?
An A+.
Okay. What do you think, Jaylen?
As most of y'all probably know, that I really didn't want Roquan Smith. Y'all know I wanted Tremaine Edmonds, and I was when we did our reaction video, I didn't seem the greatest, but I wanted to get over stuff because Pace knows what he's doing in drafting good players. So about the Roquan Smith pick, he's a great linebacker. He's fast. He's this new era type of linebacker. They might not be the tallest, but they are fast. They have good instincts. They can drop back in coverage and do very well in it, like they're a corner. So I agree with the pick, and I'm gonna give it an A.
Okay, next pick we had second round, pick number 39. We had James Daniels out of Iowa. Now, I actually, at the end of the night, there was rumors on the first night that the Bears were going to trade back into the first round, and I thought that we were definitely going to do that, but I didn't see that was probably around like pick 20 that they said the Bears were trying to come back into the first round. But I think picks 20 through 30 were really suspicious. There were some players that probably could have been in the second round that were picked in the first round. So a lot of first-round talent actually slid down. One pick I specifically didn't like, don't want to call out 49er fans, was Mike McGlinchey at number 9. I think that guy could have probably not second round, but I think he could have been picked a little bit lower. It was just super weird. Derwin James slipped a bit. Denzel Ward at 4 was a bit weird for me. But anyways, James Daniels ended up slipping to the second round, which was great. I kind of wanted Harold Landry. I think he was picked 41 or something a bit past us to the Oakland Raiders. He's going to be sick with Mac, dude. But I like James Daniels. As I said earlier, elite movement. He opens up gaps. He's got good first contact. He's a pretty powerful guy, and he can be moved all over the line. So I like that. I'm going to give that pick an A+.
James Daniels is not like a flashy pick, but like I think we needed to like solid up, like make the O-line much better to protect Trubisky because we got him weapons. So why not give him the protection he needs? So James Daniels, solid pick. I'd give it an A.
With the James Daniels pick, when my first reaction to it, I wasn't really happy because, like you said, Harold Landry was still on the board, Isaiah Oliver was still on the board. But as soon as we traded up, I knew why Pace did it because he's versatile, just like Cody. He can play guard or he can play center, which I think they're probably going to either play him at guard or center and move or keep Cody at center or move him to guard. So he's a very versatile pick. He's a zone block, make good holes for Tariq and Jordan. So one thing
that really did surprise me. There were some good receivers rounds 4 through 7, as you said earlier. Jalen Wims was a good pick, and we got him in the last round. But one thing I was surprised is that in the entire draft, we didn't even take one corner, one D-back. So I guess it just shows the coaching staff plus Pace's trust in Bryce Callahan at nickel corner at number 3. Personally, I actually like Callahan. I think he's starting to take off and hopefully can make kind of like an Eddie Jackson or an Adrian Amos jump. I know Jackson was a rookie, but he still made a big jump his rookie season, along with Amos. Those guys really went hand in hand. So hopefully having Kyle Fuller back will make us not regret taking a corner in the draft. But next pick we also have another round 2 pick number 51. We traded the Patriots our second round pick next year, so we will not have a second round pick next year. For Anthony Miller, the wide receiver from Memphis, I really hope this was worth it. So a bit of notes I took. Once again, sorry, I'm looking down, grabbing my phone. But he's got really good stutter step. I heard he's got the best stutter step in the country. That's a little bit of a specific detail, but obviously his ability to get off blocks is great. He can get some inner leverage on guys. So, for example, on post or slant routes, he can beat them inside. He can run anything on the route tree. He can get over the top of press coverage. He can work both inside and outside, so you can put him at slot if you want to move Taylor Gabriel over for a jack of a bomb. His focus sharpens downfield. He's not as much like Wims, where he can catch anything if you put it a bit further away from him. Wims has a bit bigger of a catch radius, but another good thing I like about Miller is he can create yards after the catch. That's very important. Say when it's like 3rd and 7, you run a little slant route that's 5 yards. He can fight for those extra yards, so I'm going to give that pick an A for sure.
I mean, he's my favorite pick for the Bears, but I feel like we gave up too much. I think that second round might cost us.
And a 4th rounder.
And a 4th rounder, yeah. So the player-wise, he's an A, but the pick, I'm going to give it a B just because of how we gave up a second rounder.
Okay.
I'm Anthony Miller. I feel like he can come in and be an instant starter day one. Like as soon as we drafted him, you know how like they always do the interviews with like new Bears rookies, and they compare him to Antonio Brown, and he said like later in his career he wants people saying receivers are playing like Anthony Miller. So I feel like he's humbling himself because stuff is not just given to you after earning. He was a walk-on in Memphis, and in his 3rd year there he earned his scholarship. So I feel like he's gonna come in knowing he's not the best, and he knows he's not at his full potential, and do his best, do the best he can to become the best receiver in the league.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it an A as well.
Okay, I'm gonna have you, Jaylen. You pronounced this last name perfect earlier, but we got Joel
Boonway.
Boonway, or I don't even know, dude. They call him Iggy. I did watch a lot of his film because he's the one I know least about. I actually have heard of all the other guys that we drafted or watched them, even below Nichols, who I actually like a lot. We'll get onto that later. Yeah. But Iggy, he's got a big athletic frame, good speed. He's actually pretty similar to Floyd as far as his build goes. He's got a really good burst to get to the pass rusher quick. He's a good guy as far as coming off the edge goes. He's decent in coverage, not too well. I also heard he is a special teams gem, so hopefully he can help out our special teams. What do you guys think about him? I'm gonna give that, man. I just don't know enough about him. I'm gonna give that like I'll give it a B minus.
I mean, he's like that. I'll give it a B minus.
I really don't know what to say about him. I was watching a little bit of his tape. I already know about him because he is from Chicago, and
that is true.
During his senior year, I saw how he was on TV that he committed to Western Kentucky, so I knew a little about him. But like I said earlier, I don't like where they're putting him at middle linebacker because he's a very fast big linebacker. I think he should play outside, but I'm gonna give it a C+, just not that much knowledge of knowing about him.
Okay, next we got Bilal Nichols, he's a D tackle / edge. I think he's a D tackle from Delaware. That's where Nagy went to school, so he was super hyped when the Bears got him. I've heard out of all these guys he drafted, he's super energetic guy. He plays through the whistle. Pretty good lateral agility. I heard he's got a pretty good spin move. Watching a bit of his film, he can spin out of blocks and get back into plays. And also he's got some pretty quick hands. These are just some notes I took on him, reading through scouting reports and stuff. We've already got Eddie Goldman and Akeem Hicks, but when those guys are out, hopefully he can provide some good support. So I'm going to give it a B.
I don't know much about him, but I did see some of his tape, but it's still a questionable pick because I feel like we should have went secondary, especially because of all the quarterbacks that are in our division. I'm going to give it a C-.
I actually heard about him during the East-West Shrine game. Like, I think the Senior Bowl too, but he was tearing it up at the East-West Shrine game, and they said how he could be a diamond in the rough. And as soon as we drafted him, I was like, oh, I know who that is because he's very versatile too. He can play DN/D tackle, which I think is what Pace got to put him at DN to compete with Jonathan Boyd for that number 2.
Yeah.
Akeem. So I feel like he can come in if we develop him right. Fangio can bring out his potential. I'll give it a B. A solid B.
Okay, next we got another weird one. We got Kylie Fitz, linebacker out of Utah. I don't know much about this guy. I will say Kylie Fitz, Bilal Nichols, and this Joel Iggy, whatever you want to call him. I really hope they prove everyone wrong because they're kind of under the radar guys like a Tariq Cohen, like an Adam Shaheen. Adam Shaheen, by the way, still has to pan out himself. But I hope kind of like Cohen and Eddie Jackson that they find their way. I hope one of these picks, I bet one of these picks will be good in a few years. And hopefully all of them can be. I hope Pace knows what he's doing. But just some notes I took on this guy. Very experienced. He played 4 years at Utah. He's got good upfield explosion as a pass rusher. He can get upfield and get behind the line quickly. He's got some good forward momentum and rushes. He can get around the line really quickly is all I really wrote. And he's got some pretty good speed and can play with good range. So I'm going to give that a C+.
I actually really like this pick. I've watched his tape, and he's like that type of player. If he sees that ball, he's attacking that thing. He gives hard hits. I'm excited for this pick. I'm going to give it a B.
We've got so many good linebackers, dude. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Actually, what I know about Kylie Fitz is during his 4 years at Utah, he was always hurt. But I heard I know mock drafts really don't matter, but I saw him as low as a 3rd round. So if we can hit a 3rd round talent in the 6th, that would be amazing. His production just wasn't there, but he was a heck of a player. But he just got hit by the injury bug a lot. So yeah,
I hope that's true because seeing what injuries coming into the NFL, I was talking with a guy a few days ago about playing in bowl games because they don't matter, and players like Christian McCaffrey decide to train instead of possibly getting hurt in those big games. It's an interesting conversation to have because guys like Bo Scarborough, you guys know him, the Alabama running back, who was incredible in 2016 and barely did anything in 2017 because he was so hurt. Probably going into 17 was a projected like 2nd, 3rd round pick, and he ended up getting drafted in the last round by the Cowboys. He's someone I want to do good behind Ezekiel Elliott. He'll get his opportunities in Dallas, but I just thought that's a conversation for another day, talking about whether you should play in bowl games or pass that up. But hopefully just that kind of rung a bell, but hopefully Fitz can pan out. So the last one, probably my favorite pick, honestly, Javon Wims. We got wide receiver, Georgia. Very much like an Alshon Jeffrey build, dude. This guy's huge. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks pretty big on film. He's got some good size. He's a stud down film, an absolute stud. He's a guy where you can chuck it and you put it anywhere near him, and he's going to have a really good chance at getting it. He's got great hands. He can pursue balls that you put anywhere within a certain catch radius. He can make really good adjustments. He's got some the ability to make some good back shoulder catches if we put him in the end zone. And he also has size on his blockers, so that's always a good thing. I'm going to give that pick an A.
He's actually 6'4".
6'4", okay.
Exactly like an Alshon Jeffrey type of player. I hope his character isn't like Alshon Jeffrey. That's something we don't need.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. I know he's Georgia's leading receiver, and they had a good quarterback. I loved Jake Fromm from Georgia, the quarterback. So,
from Georgia.
He's fun to watch. I'll take this pick, so I'll give it a
I think this might be a steal for us, dude. I honestly think this might be a steal.
Maybe. We'll see.
I can see where you get the comparison for Alshon Jeffrey, except I think Javon Williams is faster. I think 3 ran 4.5 to get a combine. So, that's decent speed for a person that's that tall. His production was okay for a team that was a run-heavy team with Sony Michel and Nick Chubb. So every opportunity he got, he used it to his fullest, but only putting up 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. So I think he's really a red zone target. But man can catch the ball. He can make contested catches. If you throw it up to him, he's 50 99 out of 100 times going to catch the ball. Bring it in.
It's crazy. Just before we end off this episode, what do you grade that, by the way?
I'll give it a B. Just because it's a 7th round pick.
Yeah, it's crazy just thinking about depending on who makes the team and whatnot. I feel like when we're near the end zone, Trubisky's always going to be able to find a way to get someone open because I feel like with all this talent we have and how Nagy's going to utilize it, it seems like it's hard to believe that no one's going to be open. That all these other teams, even the Rams, any team is going to be able to cover us as well as our receivers and tight ends and everyone just put together. Seems like it's going to be a pretty good system once the offense is taught. I could be completely wrong, but it's really exciting. So, anyone want to comment on that?
I mean, we got like 5 receivers that can pretty much walk 3 for our team. It's crazy. 3 and we'll see who gets wide receiver 3 or 4 job. I feel like that's something to watch out for.
It's also crazy. Sorry to interrupt you. It's absolutely incredible to think we still have Kevin White. It's crazy because God knows what that guy can do. That's another guy.
Exactly.
That's another guy where it's just like it's not a diamond in the rough at this point unless he starts playing like MVP caliber. But that guy could still come out of his shell, his injury shell, and hopefully start playing well.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy to see all these wide receivers on our team because we had none last year, and now it's just like,
wow,
here, take 20. Here's 20 for even Trubisky. I mean, it's nice. It's awesome. It's gonna be fun to watch.
It was funny. When I was watching the draft and I saw the Packers take 2 cornerbacks in the first round or two cornerbacks in the first 2 rounds, I was like, prepping for the Trubisky show next year. Good going, Green Bay. Smart picks.
Oh, yeah, they're taking up.
There won't be enough.
Yeah, I'm excited to see us beat down Detroit and Green Bay's terrible defenses because I think unless one of their defenses starts doing something, I think we're definitely going to beat those teams. Week 1, dude. 19 weeks until week 1.
Detroit's going to be a little tougher just because their head coach, he's more defensive.
Oh, yeah, you are right. Yeah, Patricia. I don't really know much about him. But, yeah, that's going to pretty much do it, guys.
Wait, Chris, before you end the video, I just want to ask something for the UDFAs. I know you said you really didn't look into any of them, but a person I could definitely see making the roster is Kevin Tolliver from LSU. Is a big corner at 6'3", went like 215. The only reason why he went undrafted is for medical and off the field issues. So I just wanted to add that. I can definitely see him making the roster.
We also got I don't know if you know the guy's name. Some really good linebacker, edge, a really good edge rusher out of Notre Dame. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's a white guy. I think his number's like.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Let me quickly see if I can look up his name.
Let's see.
I just want to.
Chicago Daily. You know he posted heck.
Yeah.
Post about that.
D lineman Andrew Trumbetti. Yeah, that's who he is. I was watching some of his films. Somehow it just came up on my recommended on YouTube or something. He looks sick, dude. That's all I want to say. But anyone else want to say anything? Like, they were pretty much good. We'll try to get stuff up later this week. There's not much to talk about, but we can always find ways to mix in videos here and there. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, subscribe. We've had good support on our last few videos, getting over like 200 views on all of them. So that's pretty cool. Jaylen, you're talking. I can't hear you. But I'm going to end that one off here. Follow our social medias. They're in the description. You can follow us personally as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.